Hello, Greencastle and Putnam County. Today, I want to do a brief video over this 29-page development plan and housing study. This was done by Club 720 out of Thrive, West Central Indiana, I believe in partnership with the city and the Economic Development Commission. I'm not going to go through everything, mostly for time's sake, but I really want everyone to be aware of this video and of this, more importantly, of this document and see some of the ideas that are being pitched for solving some of the housing crisis in this community. There's really good data here as I'm scrolling through about the needs. Here it mentions youngers, young couples, young singles, then empty nesters, and traditional and non-traditional families. It's very similar to the housing study that we covered a few months back. It was a long form podcast. Hopefully, we can dive into that again in a similar form. But for now, I want to draw attention to these housing types because for some people, it might be uncomfortable to see some of these housing types. But I want to make the argument that these housing types should feel very comfortable in Greencastle in particular. One thing that I love about Greencastle is that when a lot of the country grew through subdivisions and suburban sprawl post World War II, Greencastle avoided a lot of that. And maybe at the time it was a lack of growth that maybe looked negative to some. But I think it's something that's really preserved the historic nature and walkability of our town, of our city. And there's a phrase that apparently I just found out this morning. Some people have some conspiracy theories around, but the phrase is a 15-minute city. And what that means is to live in a place where you can walk or ride a bike 15 minutes in any directions to get to the places you need. And whether we planned on it or not, Greencastle is currently a 15-minute city. For the most part, I can ride my bike to childcare centers, to the gym, to restaurants, to the doctor. Most of that is accessible. And by using some of these housing types in the future, multifamily, single family attached, and of course, single family detached, we can really build a little more density, not too much. The same density Greencastle already has while maintaining our historic nature and not becoming suburban sprawl. I use this reference often with all due respect to my friends in Hendricks County, but I don't think anyone who lives in Greencastle really wants Greencastle to look like Avon. No one wants Indianapolis Road to look like 36 going past Costco and all of those amenities. People want more amenities, but they don't want that. And by implementing some of this, keeping our zoning standards in mind during the new comprehensive plan, I think we can accomplish a lot of this. So here, you'll see some row homes being promoted here. A really good way to have shared walls and affordability. Some single family attached, with which I know is going to be a little unusual for people in Greencastle if you haven't been places with these, but they are single family homes, but they are attached, sharing a shared wall. Some more single family attached examples here. And then, of course, single family detached, which we're most used to. Your typical home with setbacks and maybe a garage, and then your neighbor has a home that kind of looks like yours. All of these can come together. If you look around, especially the areas of town west of 231, part of the 4th Ward and the 1st Ward, that part of town really developed in a multi-use, multifunctional nature that for me makes Greencastle really special. There's other parts of Greencastle that I personally just wouldn't want to live in because it doesn't feel like this part of town. And while we need to make sure we're making room for everyone in our community, if you want the subdivision sprawl, there is some of that here. But I think this is the biggest way that we can stay unique. Other cities simply aren't doing this. They're not building upon history. They're building this new style. And through a lot of these measures, we can kind of get to that. Single family cottages also, where you can fit multiple single family homes on a lot that would normally fit one home. A really interesting way to do that. A way to battle the loneliness epidemic. A way to have families on one property without all being in one house. Some really creative things we can do here that other cities just aren't doing. This kind of touches on some of the amenities that we have and what I really do think makes us special. There's some design inspiration here. You're welcome to look through that as well. This is what I really want to draw your attention to, though. This is a potential, not an actual plan, just a guiding document of a potential plan for a site development near the YMCA. There's some land there that can be built on, and I love what I see here. There's one small adjustment I would make that I'll get to, but I love what I see here. You'll see a combination of single family homes, row homes, townhomes, a park in the neighborhood, two family attached dwellings, some townhomes, some gardens, and some more two family attached, and some cottage homes here. There's a little cottage court. Building a neighborhood like this gives multiple people a chance to move into this neighborhood. You can have young people starting families, you can have empty nesters, you can have families, you have different price points, so you have different socioeconomic groups. One thing that I've learned in the last few years that has become a passion of mine is one of the best ways to help people improve their socioeconomic status, to get better paying jobs or a better future financially, is by making sure your neighborhoods are diverse. The person in the townhome might have a neighbor in a single family home who has the career they aspire to. Or in a situation that I actually encountered a couple years ago, I had an extra bike that I was able to let a neighbor use who was renting an apartment and doing his best to work in fast food in our community. Without that bike, he would have had to walk all the way across town because his car wasn't working. So these types of neighborhoods with diversity in housing are really good for everyone and make a really enjoyable community. As you can see here, a lot of people can be in this community. You have amenities there, and the one thing that I did say I would make a change is I would love to see some mixed use commercial here as well. I would love to see the ability to have a corner store, maybe a barber or a pet salon, something right in this community. This reminds me a lot of an area in Fishers, just outside of the Portillo's and Topgolf area. I forget the name of it, but it looks a lot like this with different types of housing. It has a lot of commercial, probably too much for what I'm considering and what I would prefer here, but it does have some commercial, and it allows you to have places you can easily walk to for food, for jobs, and for some of your basic needs. I've heard the argument made that you can walk to Walmart and the YMCA here, and those are both great options. But it's kind of limited beyond that. Walking even to the nearest restaurant, which is probably, well, I guess technically Breakfast Company. So Breakfast Company is a decent walk once the sidewalks would be put in. Right now, there wouldn't be a way to walk there. But beyond that, for maybe a dinner option, you'd be walking to Burger King, which is still, about a half mile. Not bad, but what I really prefer in these communities and, in the communities I choose to live in is really close, accessible dining. From my home, I can easily walk to one restaurant. At one point, there was 3 restaurants, but unfortunately, 2 of them have shut down. You can also easily walk downtown within a half mile. The problem I see with this type of design is your most walkable areas end up being strip malls that aren't really walkable places. So I would love to see some commercial in here, but that's not to knock this plan. I think this is a really good plan that I really would be happy to support. This breaks it down, the phase 1 and phase 2 development, building out this side first, and some more specifics here. Again, this is not something that is for sure happening or for sure happening in any time frame, but it's a plan and a vision and some goals to aspire to. And generally, I really like it. You can even see here outdoor fireplace area. I didn't even see that before. A bicycle community workshop, storage rooms. So a lot of really cool ideas that can be added here. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions or reach out to these folks who put it together.